These teams are under the most pressure in this week's NFL draft. The draft, of course, is where stars are born, stars are made, but it's also where teams are made. And how your team drafts, how well or how poorly, it can not only affect how your team plays this season, but can also determine the fate of your team for many seasons to come. And today, guys, we're here to break down 4 teams, 2 from the AFC, 2 from the NFC, that have a lot riding on this 3-day process. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, where we have tons of exclusive content for you to help you get through this offseason and lots of content you're going to want to take advantage of once the season begins. We have our mailing address so you can send us some of your team's gear to represent your favorite team, whether in the college ranks or the pro ranks, to be represented in every single Gridiron Expert video. We want you to take advantage of all that, guys. We want you to become a member of our GE Nation. All that stuff can be found down in the description below, and of course right here on the channel. All the more reason to subscribe and hit that notification button. So let's dive into it. We'll start in the AFC. Why not? One of the first teams that's under the most pressure in this draft, it's none other than the Denver Broncos. Last year was an absolute disaster in Denver. Sean Payton and Russell Wilson together were supposed to be this dynamic duo where they were going to contend in the AFC West, go to the playoffs, and seem to have a pretty bright future ahead of them. Instead, it resulted in a very nasty and ugly divorce. The Broncos went 8-9, cut ties with Russell Wilson, sent him away, and the Broncos, with that losing record, missed out on the playoffs and now have the 12th pick in the draft. Here's the problem. They picked 12th, and then that's it for a really, really long time. The Broncos have only 2 picks in the top 120 picks of this draft. They have 0 picks currently in the second round. So a lot is riding on that 12th pick. And here's the thing. Denver might very well trade out of that 12th pick. Do not be surprised to see the Broncos try to trade well into the top 10, maybe into the top 5, to get themselves a quarterback. Because here's the thing. Jarrett Stidham is not the answer in Denver. They need a new signal caller. They need a signal caller to build around. They're not going to get Caleb Williams. They're probably not going to get Jaden Daniels. They're probably not going to get Drake May unless they maybe trade with the New England Patriots. So maybe it's J.J. McCarthy. Maybe it's Bo Nix. Maybe it's Michael Penix. All those guys are probably going to be the best bet for the Broncos. But regardless, they have a lot riding on that first-round pick, whether it's at number 12 or whether it's higher up. They've got to get this right. They've got to get this pick right. They've got to get this draft right. Otherwise, it could be another long year in Denver, another long next few years in Denver, and the Sean Payton tenure could be very short-lived, especially in an AFC West that's getting tougher by the minute with the Chiefs, Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, and an improving Raiders squad. We talk about a team, though. We said, hey, if Denver wants to maybe move up and get themselves a quarterback, who could they possibly trade with in the top 10? Look no further than the New England Patriots, who we just talked about here on the channel yesterday. The Patriots have a lot riding on this draft. The first draft since 2000 without Bill Belichick as the head coach. Patriots got a new front office. They've got a new head man in Gerard Mayo. And they have a lot of questions they need answered, including needing a quarterback. So do the Patriots get themselves a quarterback? Do they get Jaden Daniels or Drake May? Or do they maybe trade with someone like the Broncos or someone like the Vikings, who are also quarterback-hungry teams? Maybe the Patriots trade with one of them, get some veteran, players to come to New England, along with a plethora of draft picks to start accumulating some very young talent as the Patriots enter this massive rebuild. No one's expecting New England to contend right off the bat under Gerard Mayo. No one expects them to be Super Bowl contenders or even playoff contenders this year. But the future of this franchise, a lot of it could ride on how they do on Thursday, especially with that 3rd overall pick, where they get their quarterback of the future or they trade out of it. Regardless, the Patriots have to be smart and the Patriots have to be aggressive, something that we really never really saw under Bill Belichick. Going over to the NFC, so we had 2 teams there. Give me the Arizona Cardinals. And you might say, why the Cardinals? How are they under a lot of pressure? Here's the thing. The Cardinals aren't as bad as maybe you think. Last year was not great. Jonathan Gannon in his first year in Arizona goes 4-13, but a lot of that was played without their star quarterback in Kyler Murray, who got injured towards the end of the 2022 season. This is still a team, though, that despite their 4-13 record, beat quality playoff teams in the Cowboys, the Steelers, and the Eagles. The wins over the Steelers and the Eagles both coming on the road. The Cardinals also had 5 losses by 1 possession. this team, very, very young, could have easily been a 9-win team. Kyler Murray now back healthy. At least we hope he can stay healthy. They're a team on a mission. They're a team that could flirt with a wild card berth in the NFC. They're committed to Kyler Murray. We figured that part out. What do they do with the 4th overall pick? Maybe they go out and get him a wide receiver 1, a top wide receiver since DeAndre Hopkins is no longer there. They very well could do that with Marvin Harrison Jr., who I think is probably the best athlete in this entire draft. Yeah, you could say Caleb Williams, sure, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is about as elite as they come. The Cardinals also have a pick in the first round, number 27. They've got 2 first-round picks. They maybe could trade back on one of those. They maybe could give it up and get some more picks later on in the draft. But regardless, the Cardinals have a lot of picks for a team that's very young. And if they can add a couple key pieces on both sides of the ball, but namely at the wide receiver position, the Cardinals could be more dangerous than we think. The future could be very bright with a young head coach and could be very bright in what's really a wide open NFC West division outside of the 49ers. The 49ers are still king. The Seahawks are beatable. The Rams are beatable. The Cardinals are looking to become one of the best teams in that division, at least the second best behind San Francisco. And then finally, another team that's under a lot of pressure, maybe America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Their Super Bowl window, if there was one, it's closing, and it's closing fast. And Jerry Jones has made it clear. They're all in on 2024. They're all in on trying to go win a Super Bowl. I don't think they're ever going to win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott as their quarterback, but that's not going to change, and that's not going to be changed in this draft. If the Cowboys believe he's the guy, they've got to surround him with talent on both sides. That's why this draft is so important. The Cowboys have not only continued to fail to meet their expectations, still haven't been to an NFC championship since the 1990s, but they lost a lot of talent. Tony Pollard is gone. Michael Gallup is gone. Tyron Smith and Tyler Biadasz are gone on the offensive line. The offensive line was something they were priding themselves on for many, many years. Again, that Super Bowl window is closing. They're not willing to cough a bunch of money for Dak Prescott. They're not willing to cough a bunch of money right now for CeeDee Lamb, who has shown his unhappiness and anger, maybe, towards not getting that extra contract and that extra money. So they need help. They need another wide receiver weapon. They need another target for Dak Prescott. They need help on the offensive line after losing 2 big guys up front. They need more running backs. No one's scared of Deuce Vaughn and Rico Dowdle and Royce Freeman. No one's scared of that trio with the Cowboys. So maybe they go out and poach themselves a big-name running back in the draft. Who knows? Maybe the Cowboys make a bunch of trades because that's what they've got to do. The Cowboys are obviously picking lower in the first round. They've got to find themselves in a situation where maybe they're wheeling and dealing and racking up as many picks as possible to surround themselves with some young elite talent. The Cowboys are kind of in shambles right now, failing to win that first round this last year in the playoffs. No NFC championship since the 90s. Never really seemed to get over that hump. If they have a bad draft, they weren't aggressive in free agency. They weren't aggressive in keeping guys that were already on the team. They weren't too aggressive in keeping some of their coordinators. Cowboys seem to be in a bit of a weird spot right now. And if that trend continues over the 3-day period of the NFL draft, I wouldn't get your hopes up about a magical Super Bowl run for the boys. Hey, don't come out there and say, it's our year for the Cowboys, because we can tell you it definitely won't be. So guys, there you go. Those are 4 teams we think are under the most pressure entering Thursday's NFL Draft. Tell us what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have other teams that are under a lot of pressure? Leave it down in the comments below. We're going to have more draft coverage coming your way over the course of these next few days. But as we always say, it's one of the best times of the year, one of the most exciting times of the year. Can't wait to see how it all shapes out over those 3 days. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com. That includes our mailing address. All that stuff is there for you guys. We want you to take advantage of it. We want you to become a member of our GE Nation. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.